Can you believe that it's already Black Friday once again? The year has flown by, so we're at the end of November now. We got the holidays coming up in a matter of weeks. The year is already behind us, and what a crazy year it has been. We have seen all sorts of crazy stuff from the SEC suing all sorts of exchanges to now what has just happened with the SEC and the Department of Justice announcing that Binance is going to be paying a settlement fine of over $4 billion. I'll walk you through the details. CZ, who's been the head and CEO of Binance for all these years, has stepped down. He might actually be facing prison time. We'll go through details in a second, like I said. But wow, what a crazy year it has been. On top of that, we have a massive lineup of stuff happening in 2024 with potential ETFs approvals for spot Bitcoin and spot Ethereum ETFs filed by BlackRock, filed by Fidelity, and many other big names. Now, you could also even argue that this move to get Binance to pay these settlements and to make this deal and to get CZ to step down might be ahead of the big boys stepping in, so that with Binance, that was the largest crypto exchange by volume, out of the way or kind of under control now or toned down, whatever you want to call it, that the big boys can step in, the ETFs can get approved, and they get more control of that in 2024 going forward. So that is going to be very exciting to see what happens. On top of that, we also have the Bitcoin halving that's coming in April. So massive things ahead of us for 2024. And I still very much believe that everything lines up for a massive bull market over the next 6 to 12 months. Like I've been saying for most of the year, that we are potentially here front running the traditional 4-year cycle, where most people only expect the cycle to play out like it did last time, meaning that we only hit all-time highs by end of 2024 and a bull market in 2025. I've explained many times, I don't think that's going to be the case. So far, that seems to be on track. The reason, again, why I think this is because usually we get a global market crash after the first rate cut of a long hike cycle. That rate cut is still projected to happen somewhere between June and September next year. Obviously, we'll have to see how that happens. And the theory just behind it logically would be like, well, a lot of people are still sidelined because they believe we still have another year before we go up. People are still shorting it. They don't believe it. They're in disbelief. But what if we just keep going higher and higher and higher? We don't get a major pullback like March 2020. We just keep going higher, right? And by the time of the halving, we're at maybe 50K. Then we shoot up for another 3 months or so. We go to 100, 120K. Everyone gets excited. But at that point, actually, the bull market has peaked. The ETFs are approved. All the money is sucked in from the financial institutions. And we get a giga bear market. That is still kind of what I'm leaning towards. But obviously, that can change. We follow the charts on a weekly and daily basis. So make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you can stay updated. Personally, I'm still bullish and long till wrong because everything is pointing towards bullish signals. Now, before I get into today's content, obviously with it being Black Friday, you already know by this point that I am holding a massive Black Friday sale. I've been running this for the month, and at this point, it literally is Black Friday, and there is only a few days left where you have the chance to join my VIP membership at my Black Friday special offer. This is the lowest prices that I'll ever offer it at. You can literally get 1-year access for $697. There's a full 60-day money-back guarantee. So you sign up for whatever reason you're not happy. There's no strings attached. Just email support and you can get a refund in full. There's no risk to you. But after Black Friday, so on November 28th at midnight, this offer is coming down. I will never offer it again at this price at $697 for a year. The price is going way up. And in 2024, I'm increasing the prices even further. I've been doing this now for 6 years. And I've added so much content and training to the members area. The value that you can get from this and the amount of upside that you can get from this is easily worth many times over what I'm charging. So right now is still the last chance to get it for the lowest price that I'm going to offer it at. You have until November 28th. The link is in the description down below. Everything is explained there. And a very strong and compelling reason why you should join VIP now if you're not yet a member is to get access to my special report that I've created specifically here. 10 low cap gems. My research on 10 different coins with a low market cap that I believe have potential for 2024. This is something that I'm only offering now to existing members and members who joined before Black Friday. After November 28th, even if you join at the higher prices, you won't get access to this report. So that alone, in my opinion, is worth joining. Again, the link is in the description down below. Okay, so real quick, let me run you through the steps, what happened with Binance here. So Binance CEO CZ steps down as part of a $4 billion settlement with the US. So the US Department of Justice plans to settle charges with Binance after years of investigating the crypto exchange. Now, the reason also why this is a good thing is because if they pay the settlement, all that FUD around Binance doing criminal stuff and potential consequences and it potentially being insolvent and all this stuff, that kind of disappears. So that is why it's a good thing. Because for years and years, people have been speculating, oh, Binance is doing sneaky stuff. Binance is the next FTX that's going to collapse. They took user funds, all that. So whatever the consequences are here that Binance has to deal with from their actions, the reality is that up to date, Binance's user funds have been safe, right? There is no repeat of FTX. There is no commingling of funds that has come out or anything like that. So in that regard, that has been good. And the fear around this has always been that that could be the case. And that's always the FUD campaign. So with this out the way, there's going to be no further investigations, seems like. And that would be a good thing for just going forward and a bullish market conditions. So obviously it's still not very clear exactly what the details are, and sometimes it still changes. It happened very, very recently, only a couple days ago. So further down the line, we'll find out the exact things that happened. But basically, things happened that weren't great. CZ saying, I made mistakes, I must take responsibility. And basically the charges were that Binance has violations of US anti-money laundering laws. It also alleged that Binance failed to prevent or report suspicious transactions with terrorists. Binance has turned a blind eye to legal obligations in pursuit of profit. So I'm not going to go into the specific court case and the charges and all that kind of stuff. You can see the ultimate result of it is basically CZ is going to step down as the CEO of the company as part of the plea deal where he pled guilty to violating and causing financial institution to violate the Bank Secrecy Act. He'll agree to a $50 million fine. Again, there's different all sorts of variations. He was released on a $175 million bond. He has to pay a $50 million fine. Binance is going to pay 4.3. I've read 4. I've also read 1.8. So whatever the exact details are going to be, we'll end up finding out later. But basically, CZ is going to step down. Binance is going to pay a fine. They're going to settle with the U.S. Department of Justice. And that is that. And that is the end of this chapter. And there will be a new one going forward, which in my opinion is going to be very much revolved around the big boys stepping in, the ETFs, BlackRock, Fidelity, who now basically have a green light. We also had the SEC commissioner who basically said there is no reason for us to stand in the way of a Bitcoin ETF. So again, that all looks very, very promising. And this is something that could potentially get started as soon as January of 2024. Can you imagine if official investment vehicles, like the traditional ones that people are used to, regulated by big companies like BlackRock, that now allow money to come into Bitcoin? All those funds, all the millionaires, all the billionaires who previously didn't want to invest in crypto or couldn't for financial or legal or trust reasons or whatever the case is, right? They didn't want to sign up on Coinbase or, hold their own custody of their own Bitcoin. All of those people who might have wanted to get in on the action the last cycle but didn't because of those reasons, they can now, once these ETFs are approved, do so in a completely safe, compliant, and legal way. They can send millions or tens of millions or hundreds of millions, whatever they want, to these ETFs and invest in Bitcoin in a safe way. This is why I'm saying we could potentially be looking at major, major upside for the next 6 to 12 months. We've already gone from Bitcoin in the lows in end of 2022, around 15,000, to now currently sitting at 37,000. We are less than 6 months away from the next Bitcoin halving. What do you think is going to happen? If an ETF gets approved before that, it could be huge. And obviously, that's why I've been saying all this time, you want to buy low and sell high. You want to buy low when nobody's interested because that's when the risk reward is the best. most people are still not invested. Most people are still not buying altcoins, which, by the way, are still pretty dirt cheap. I mean, yes, you can look at coins like, for example, Solana, which has already done a 4 or 5, even a 6x from the lows. But many coins are still down 80, 90, 95% from their highs. There is still massive opportunity. But the longer that you wait, the worse the risk reward becomes and the harder it becomes to be able to make those crazy gains. Again, most people are just simply going to wait until the media gives them permission to buy Bitcoin, until Bitcoin's back at new all-time highs, 60, 70, $80,000, when everything's there. It's all over TV. Your friends and family, regular people, the cashier, your waiter is talking about Bitcoin and crypto. Those are the signs that you want to start getting cautious and start taking profits. But most people will only use that as validation to start getting interested. So, if you've been following me for a long time, hopefully you're already positioned and you know all of this already, and you are going to make huge amounts of money in 2024 if we get that bull market. If you're new, if you're not yet positioned, that is why I'm making these videos. That's why I'm sharing this. That's why I've been doing this for the last months, because the easiest way to make money in crypto is to buy low, ride the wave up, and sell high. And most people just don't do that. Okay, so I want you to make a lot of money in 2024. So make sure to subscribe and follow these videos and join me in VIP for the Black Friday special offer, because that's the best way I can help you with daily ongoing charts and guidance. Okay, so let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart over here. This is the daily chart, and as much as it's been chopping around for the last couple of weeks, you can see we are still above $37,000. That is huge. There's still people saying Bitcoin is a failure, Bitcoin, blah, 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 blah. It costs $37,000 for one Bitcoin. Most people cannot afford one Bitcoin. It is completely out of the realm of possibility for most people now to purchase one Bitcoin. Who has $37,000 lying around liquid in cash that they could put into a coin that obviously has risk, right? It could drop 50%. What percentage of the population has that? It's probably less than 5%, probably maybe even less than 1% that can actually do that, which is nuts. This already is showing Bitcoin is a massive success. And the higher it goes, the more it prices out the ability to get that. And then following up on that, if you know how these cycles work, because of that very reason, the higher it goes, the more people get interested in crypto, but they realize, oh, I really can't afford to buy a Bitcoin. I can't even afford to buy half a Bitcoin or even 10% of a Bitcoin. So what can I afford to buy if I only have a few $1,000s? And then they start looking at Ethereum because it's cheaper, but even Ethereum is expensive at $2,000 for an ETH. Maybe it goes to 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. That's already unaffordable. And then they start looking at the lower coins that are priced in cents, right? Because you can get tens of thousands of them or hundreds of thousands of them for $1,000, right? Or you can get millions of a specific token because, they're priced at a fraction of a penny. And that is how we get our speculation on altcoins. And that is how these lower market cap coins do these massive multiples of 30x, 50x, 100x, or even more. Because they are so low in market cap, it takes relatively low money, maybe even a couple of $1 million in money to flow in to pump at so many multiples, which is something Bitcoin could never do because it's already such a massive market cap. And that is why, if you want to make it during these bull cycles and you want to get those huge ROIs, the money is not in Bitcoin. It is not in Ethereum. It is not even in the top, say, 30 or 50 coins because they're already so big, they're not going to do those multiples. It is in the coins that are below 100 million market cap, below 50 million market cap, even below 20 million market cap, because those are the ones that have that real upside potential. Even though those coins can have higher risk because there's higher chances of them rugging, the upside multiples for those, if you're paying attention in the right conditions, is massive. And again, that is why I'm making this 10 low cap gem report that is included as part of Black Friday. So if you want access to that, link in the description down below. So back to Bitcoin here, just the analysis. You can see it's been grinding up here. So far, market structure is still bullish. Okay, we are still making higher lows. You can see here, it's grinding up here, but it hasn't broken market structure, meaning that this could still resolve to the upside. This can continue to chop around here for maybe even a few more weeks, maybe the entire rest of the year throughout the holiday period. Maybe it hangs around here between 38 and 35. It's very possible, but this is still in a bullish trajectory. If you look at the market structure since January of 2023, you can see what happened. We made a high, we made a low, and then we made a higher high, and then we made a higher low, and a higher high, and a higher low, and a higher high. This is bullish market structure. For the whole of 2023, we have been in a bullish trend. And that is why at the beginning of 2023, I made this video saying the bull market is back, right? Even though we haven't gone into full-blown euphoria, that is not what a bull market is. A bull market is basically just a bullish trend on the higher time frame. And once we get this confirmation, we have been in that bullish trend since beginning of the year. And since we got above $20,000, that was the confirmation. Most people will not say that we are in a bull market. I said that at the beginning of the year, and so far it has held true because I follow the charts. Most people do not know what a bull market or a bear market is, and that's by definition, it's very confusing. You just stick to bullish trend. By definition, higher high, higher low. As long as that is the case, we are in a bullish trend. We are now at 37,000. The target is higher. So unless we get a market structure break, and we go lower, and actually that's only really the case here below 26,000. There's some other signals a little bit higher around 30,000, but as long as we're above there, the trend is bullish and we expect higher. And what is the next target? It is these highs, in my opinion, in confluence with the Fibonacci golden pocket and the 0.70 between 48,000 and 53,000, and I do expect that to get hit within the next couple of months before the halving. Maybe even sooner than that. If we get an ETF approved in January, I mean, who knows? Maybe it just rips straight up, right? Maybe it just goes to 53K here by, who knows, by the end of the year, by the end of January. It is completely possible. Most people are not expecting that because they have been so conditioned in this bear market that every time it goes up, it goes further down. Every time it goes up, it goes further down. Every time it goes up. So we've been conditioned for that for months and months and months. But the trend has changed, like I said, in January. Right? We are now in a bullish trend, and that means pullbacks are for buying. Right? These dips are for buying. It's the opposite to the bear market now. Every time it goes down, it goes further up. And that is why you see many people, especially retail investors, especially people not so experienced with the markets, who are now still saying every time it's going up, yeah, it's a bear market rally and we're going to new lows. That only becomes a realistic scenario once we get a market structure break. I would say that would be below 30K. That was when we lose key moving averages, but actually really only below 25K. At this point, you know, if we get below here, well, we'll probably look at new lows, okay? But as long as we're above 25K, especially above 30K, which is the 3-day 50 moving average, the 50 and the 200 week moving average, the trend is bullish, and I would not recommend shorting this because the targets are higher, and who knows, maybe indeed it does go up to that, and maybe we're at all-time highs by the time in the halving. If we get ETFs approved, that would not be impossible. And again, if you think for whatever reason that this is not possible at all, like 100% not possible, just look at what happened in 2020. Look at this massive run that we got here. Okay, we just went up in a massive way. So me projecting this forward here is basically what it's already done. It literally did this in 2020. This is a fact. You cannot dispute this. And you can see, yes, there were some pullbacks along the way, especially like this one was kind of a big one, but it was very short in time and it only happened much higher up. So sure, we might get a correction where it goes from like 40 to 30, right? What if it does something like that? It goes to 30 and then it just continues going higher. Yes, we get our correction 20-30% and bears will get happy and euphoric saying like, oh, I told you so, you know, this is the top, we're going all the way back down. And then it just continues to rip higher and higher and goes back to the all-time high. So we are in a bullish trend. It pays to think in line with the trend, which means we are not looking for shorts. We are looking to buy dips on pullbacks. So I'm excited for 2024. Remember, there's a couple days left for my Black Friday special offer. It ends on November 28th. If you're gonna join, I mean, it really makes sense to sign up now before the special offer ends, because number one, the prices are way lower. After this, you're gonna have to pay a lot more, and you're not gonna get the bonus report, which in my opinion alone is worth joining. It is my research on 10 low cap gems that have upside potential for 2024, and you will get that only if you sign up before November 28th. The link is in the description down below. Thanks for watching. I wish you very happy holidays, an amazing time with friends and family, and just enjoy life. And I'm looking forward to a potential 2024 bull market. See you in the next video.